What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your source for everything cool in video games. You can always be a part of our show. All you have to do is go to insidethegame.ca or hit us up in Discord, where there you can submit your clip and end off our show. Coming up on today's jam-packed episode, here it is, it's the rundown.
Although there is a lot of replayability here, you will start to see the same set pieces pop up.
Still, Skyrim on 64, I mean, what system, where can you not play Skyrim? Why would you ever want to spend $600 on Skyrim on Xbox 360?
Yeah, there's an actual interesting amount of strategy to this.
What Nintendo games do we want to see come back? And, well, now it's time to get on to the review. Let's check out the Logitech Pro wireless headset.
Hey guys, in this week's Level Up, we're going to be talking Chivalry 2 because I just haven't been able to put this game down.
Well, let's keep running as Scott gets us started with Phantom Abyss.
We're running down a deep dark abyss. This is Phantom Abyss. Phantom Abyss is a game that is pretty interesting and unique as far as I'm aware. This has you running first person down this super long abyss, kind of dodging obstacles and collecting treasure along the way. Your goal is just to get to the end of the abyss and open that door, and that's where this game is actually really interesting because it will lead you into another abyss. However, each time you find one of these doors, you have a chance of changing the map. The map kind of regenerates itself using a lot of different set pieces. So, although there is a lot of replayability here, you will start to see the same set pieces pop up here and again. And that could give away some of the secret areas because, like I say, you have a lot of treasure and stuff to collect along the way and get to that exit, bringing that treasure home. This game is definitely set to be speedrun. There is, of course, this random effect with each level, but when you know kind of what you're looking for and you're familiar with some of the set pieces, you can really see how the speedrunning urge is there. There's definitely that to bring those kind of players, that pro skill out. And just to assist with that, when you jump into a map, other players that have made it through that abyss will be shown as a ghost running alongside you, which I thought that was actually really interesting because it gives me an idea of where I'm supposed to be going, first of all, but secondly, it allows me to race an opponent as if they were there. Unfortunately, there's no multiplayer whatsoever though. The ghost thing makes me really want a form of multiplayer. If I could play with several friends and we're all kind of trying to race each other to the door, I think that would really be great, but unfortunately it is missing from this title. Your motivation for getting through these maps is somewhat strange. You begin the game talking to a big statue, and the statue represents some sort of deity, but this deity tells you you're stuck in this abyss until you can capture enough totems at the end of each abyss chambers and bring them back to offer that god, and that will allow you to finally be free of the endless abyss. Starting from point A and getting to point B, it doesn't seem very complicated, but there are a range of things that pop up, obstacles if you will, to slow your way through or potentially end your run. It kind of functions as a roguelite that way. You push as far as you can, inevitably you're going to fail, and you will restart back at the beginning. Now, some of these obstacles can be spinning blades, they could be falling pieces from the ceiling that you have to watch out for. There's the kind of classic arrows that shoot out of the wall trick, spikes that come out of the floor. There's a lot of little pieces here and there for you to parkour around, if you will. And I think they did a pretty good job of balancing difficulty with the length of these abysses. You only have 3 hearts, that's generally 3 mistakes you can make, and then you're out of the run to begin way at the start. There's also these kind of interesting mask kind of figures. They're supposed to represent an evil deity that's trying to slow your adventure and end you eventually, but they're really interesting. When you get into the later levels, they follow you no matter where you go, and every so often, 7 or 3 seconds or something of the like, they will shoot a laser beam at you. So that's kind of your only NPC to contend with, other than the level itself. It adds pretty nice difficulty, and I really enjoyed that part. When it comes to rating this game and giving it a score, there's a few things to consider. I think the gameplay loop is actually very fun and very addictive, and when you're on a roll, it's hard to put it down. But the negative side to that is that it is quite repetitive, and although there is a randomization of levels, it doesn't really do a whole lot to change up the atmosphere. It starts to feel quite samey. Speaking about the environments, that kind of brings me to the second thing to consider, the graphical capability of this game. It is not anything spectacular. That's not to say it's hard to look at, I don't believe it's ugly, but it definitely does nothing to stretch my hardware. It is not an example of next-gen capabilities whatsoever. It sort of just gets the job done, but doesn't really excite you further than that. Now, the soundtrack to go along with it is kind of interesting. A little bit low on the energy for my preference, though. If it was something fast-paced and led to the speedrunning, I think that would be a huge get for this. Now, the single player is a lot of fun, but it is only single player, and that's a real big problem for me, because this game seems to be really lent well to the idea of competing with your friends, together or not, through the use of ghosts. That's an interesting idea, but it's not the same as having your friends in the game. That hurts this game a lot, in my opinion. If I'm gonna put a number on this one, I have had a good time with it. I really do enjoy this concept, and I think it is definitely successful. But there's a lot of elements that I want to see worked on, and I don't think it was a complete bullseye on the target in this case. Phantom Abyss gets a 6 from me. Phantom Abyss is satisfying obstacle course action, but it is too simple, repetitive, and no multiplayer.
It's another crazy week in the world of spending on video games. Last week, records were broke and Cory got us covered with the Zelda game that broke records. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on a Zelda game. But this week, well, that was absolutely trumped by Mario 64 sealed being sold for $1.5 million, guys. $1.5 million. I cannot believe that. That is so much money to spend on a game that I grew up playing way back in the day, like 20 years. I mean, that's insane, guys. What is your perspective on this? Do you have a spending limit? Do you spend $90 on a game? Or do you wait for it to go on sale? Or are you a collector? I would love to know. You please let me know on Inside the Game what your thoughts on this insane price are. Because not only was Mario sold for $1.5 million, well, Skyrim was sold on the Xbox 360 for $600. Yet, I know this is nowhere near that insane price that Mario 64 was sold for. But still, Skyrim on 64, I mean, what system, where can you not play Skyrim? Why would you ever want to spend $600 on Skyrim on Xbox 360? It is not worth that much, but Needless to say, please let me know at Inside the Game what your thoughts on all this crazy spending is as of late.
So this week I got a pretty cool one. We're talking about an accessory, a gaming accessory of sorts. Nintendo's teamed up with famous watchmaker Tag Heuer, and they've come together and come up with a Mario themed smartwatch. This thing's pretty cool. I mean, it comes and it's totally decked out Mario styles. It's running on the Google Wear OS, so you can use it with your Google Assistant, let you kind of hook up with other things like that. It's actually a pretty slick looking watch overall. It comes with two bands, a red rubber one and then also a black leather, which is kind of inlaid with some red rubber as well. And you get all the Mario themes you can think of. Every morning Mario will wake you up. There's a couple different screens that you can choose from, like Mario's disappearing, going invisible. There's also one with him on top of a warp pipe. I mean, this is a cool overall smartwatch. There's a lot of smartwatches out there, but I mean, if you're a huge Nintendo fan, this one would be definitely one you'd want to pick up. But you're gonna need to shell out about $2,200 if you want one of these things. That's right, this thing isn't cheap. I mean, if you're all into that Mario nostalgia and you want that memorabilia, that collectible value in this thing, I mean, it's out there. They made limited edition models, so there's only, I think, 2,000 of these things available. So, I mean, you're gonna be spending $2,200, possibly more on some maybe third-party websites once these things get bought and probably resold. So, I mean, if you wanna get your hands on one, they are available now. They have just been released on July 15th, so you gotta get them quick because I'm sure they're gonna get scooped up fast. But I just wanna also note that you could buy 6 of the new Switch OLEDs instead of just one of these watches. So, I mean, just a little food for thought.
When I hear the actor's name Christopher Judge, the first thing that springs to my mind is his character Tilt that he played in 1997 in the TV series Stargate SG-1. Now, in the gaming world, he's better known for in 2016 when he took over the role from Terence C. Carson to portray Kratos in the Gods of War franchise, where he received a lot of praise from the communities and awards for his performance.
But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
I know.
Well, Square Enix approached Christopher Judge and asked him if he'll do the voice acting for the new DLC that's coming out on the Marvel's Avengers game, The War of Wakanda, where he will do the voice acting for King T'Challa that was initially played by Chadwick Boseman in the original Marvel's Black Panther film. But initially, Christopher Judge said no, and in a recent interview he mentioned, "There's many Black Panthers, but I really didn't believe that anyone should ever do T'Challa again after Boseman. The actual talks proceeded, and basically I wound up doing it because my mother and my children said if I didn't do it, they would disown me." Christopher Judge said he wanted to do something different, and the character of T'Challa is quite a bit older in the War of Wakanda than from the Black Panther film. Crystal Dynamics' version of Black Panther has been king for some time and is confident in his role. Chadwick's performance was somebody who had more questions about how to perform the role of the Black Panther and King. Well, Square Enix Marvel's Avengers DLC War in Wakanda drops next month, and I'm really excited to checking this one out because I really think that the Avengers game is lacking something. There's also been rumoured that it's going to be a lot longer than the Kate Bishop and the Clint Barton expansion DLCs as well, possibly coming in at 7.5 hours of content. With also that in Christopher Judge's performance, then this should be a phenomenal DLC, and I think is exactly what the Avengers game needs. Alright Scott, let's buy some pips, because we're going to war.
Alright Steve, we checked out this fun little game. This is Warpips, and we're playing it on Steam. Now, this game is kind of sort of a tug of war of sorts. If I could explain kind of what's going on here. You jump into a map, And it's a very simple kind of concept. You have a base, they have a base, and you're both spawning units to walk through no man's land and eventually destroy the enemy base. That's the whole idea. It goes a little longer, where you kind of go through a range of levels on your way through a campaign, but every scenario is kind of posed in the same manner. So that's basically the premise, how this game works. But how did you find jumping into this one?
Don't be too excited about the graphics, because it's very retro, and as we sort of mentioned before, it kind of felt like when I was playing the old Commodore 64. It's very 8-bit kind of pixelated style. But one thing I will say, it is addictive, and don't get too cocky in this game either, because it's not straightforward. It's a lot of thinking and planning in this game.
Yeah, there's an actual interesting amount of strategy to this. It is kind of a simple concept. You begin every map by choosing what units you want to bring to that fight. So you can kind of try and be conservative with your forces and have a hard time at the beginning, but hopefully an easy payoff. Or you can just rush with your hardest, strongest units, but you spend them in that fight, and you may have a while to go before you can recuperate them. So there is actually quite a lot of strategy to it. But that's kind of where the detail of this game falls off, because, as you say, the graphics are quite dated. They're not hard to look at, but they're certainly not stretching my hardware whatsoever. Now, that kind of brings me to my first real sticking point with this game, because I agree with you, it is addictive, and especially when you get on a roll. But the look of it is reminiscent of something I would have played on my phone perhaps 10 years ago even. It's sort of just geared to a smartphone, it seems. But it is on Steam, we're playing this on PC, so it seems a little silly to me. I'm not sure why they went that direction, because it's not a super goofy look or something that would be stylized. And I'm not sure about you, but the audio was pretty forgettable in my experience. I don't really recall much of a backtrack going on at all.
The games I actually played, there was more like rock music on some of my bits.
Oh, okay.
Or there was like rock music, and there was like some of it was funky as well, and techno. I had some techno bits of music on that. But that sort of only sort of come into play is the wave bar at the bottom of the screen, which you have to keep an eye on, because if it's green, then you just get very minimal amount of enemies approaching you. And then as it scrolls across and it starts going to yellow and then red, and then you're in trouble basically, because there's a lot of times that I was at the other end and I was destroying, whether it's the missile launcher or whatever they had, and all of a sudden it'll go red, and then a swarm of soldiers will come out, and they'll be heavily weaponized, if I can say. Like, they'll have bazookas, and next thing they'll have vehicles as well that'll run you over and barge through your barricades and stuff like that. I have to say that I didn't like the intensity of the waves of when it was red. It was damn hard, because all it did was just push you all the way back to your end again, and then all they're doing is just shooting up your base, and then it's game over.
That is a little rough, and that brings me to my second issue with this game. Once you get beyond the first island and into the second, just the way the campaign is structured, it becomes a lot harder. It's not as gradual as I would have expected, and when you get into these fights, you're met with enemy armor, vehicles, like you say, things that you may not even have access to yet. Artillery in the background that just keeps pounding away at your units. There's things that were kind of just extra hard, and I was turned away from that. I was enjoying and very addictive to when I was on a roll and just continue steamrolling through the campaign, but I found that the wall of difficulty came up very sudden.
Yeah. Just a quick question. How did you find the controls? Because I actually played mine with my controller.
The different keys, there's only a few of them, just to scroll left and right on the screen, to zoom in and out. and then to
Yeah.
activate your defensive or offensive orders to your units.
Yeah.
But that was the extent of the controls. It's very basic, and I found it was very natural on the keyboard.
So I think we've covered everything about Warpips now, and obviously this is still early access, but on our experience we're gonna give it a score. So what are you scoring Warpips?
Yeah, I feel comfortable scoring this one at its current state. And if they really do add lots of updates, well, maybe we'll check back in and see how those go. This game is simple, but it is addicting. There is actually a good, strong pull to the strategy for me, and I really did have a good time with it. But the appearance of the game is a serious issue for me because it's in the modern era and it seems quite dated. But that and the simplicity of the game can only go so far before it gets repetitive, which will have most players bouncing out pretty early. I'm mixed feelings with this one. I think it's quite a good game, but I'm with a 6.5 on this one.
Nice. Basically, I'm exactly the same on you on everything you touched on about. The graphics, sort of, it was the downside. Like you said, you could have played it on anything, and this is PC, and the way things are going with better graphics and stuff like that, they could have improved them a little bit better. The wave levels, I think, was too diverse. Basically, it was, some will be easier, then it will just be virtually impossible and very frustrating after 20 minutes. And on that as well, I'm going to give this a 6.
Warpips is a very simple concept with deep strategy and addictive action. Unfortunately, repetitive levels leave more to be desired.
Guys, each and every week we talk about something, and we kind of threw this one out there. What Nintendo games do we want to see come back? Switch is out, and now the OLED Switch is on the way. What new games do we want to see make its return? Nate, you're kicking this off.
All right, buddy. Well, we've been long overdue for a Mario Kart game, and we got a remaster of Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, which is fantastic. But you want to know what, guys? I'm going to take it further back to Mario Kart Double Dash. I want Double Dash 2, man. That was like one of my favorite racing games of all time. That was actually one of the few games I 100%ed probably back in the day on GameCube. Like, I unlocked the new title screen, unlocked all the characters. Like, me and my brother played that so much. And then they also had that option where, you know, you could play together on a bike or on a kart. Or on a bike, or, you know, you could play solo, and there's just so much, man, like the attacking each other, everything about that game, man, it just gets me hyped, as you can tell. So I think we're well overdue for a Double Dash 2. I hope we don't just get a remaster on the Switch or like whatever, a new port. I want another game, man, with all these new maps that they've created and some. But all right, Scott, what is your game relic? My good friend.
Well, I've been thinking about it, and this one's something I've thought about for a long time. In the same sort of school as yours, this is also a racer, but we haven't seen one since the GameCube, and that is F-Zero. And that was F-Zero GX. There was a precursor to that, but there hasn't been anything since, and it's been well over a decade now. And the painful part is that the director of F-Zero GX has been interviewed and basically asked point blank, when's the next one coming up? And his answer was, well, there's nothing we could really do to it right now, which I disagree. And he said, if you like F-Zero so much, go play F-Zero GX.
Wow.
Oh.
It just doesn't sound like it's going to come to fruition as much as I would enjoy it. But Steve, how about you?
Well, this was more trickier for me because obviously I didn't have too many Nintendo consoles, but this game actually came out in 2007, and it was the first party game of the series to come on the Wii, and it's actually Mario Party 8. And I probably put months of hours in this, playing with Sophie and Lewis the kids. or even after a nightclub coming back with Michelle, you know, the competitive mode kind of things. But the premise is there were 6 areas, but it's like a board game. So you actually hit a dice and you actually move on the squares. So if you land on a green square, you get 3 coins, red, you lose 3. And the idea is get to the round the board and then cash in your coins to get stars. And it's up to like 50 turns, and there's mini games after every go. It's just so much fun, and I wish this one will come back. This one brought so many memories for me. So how about you, Drew?
For me, I'm going all the way back to the first console that I purchased. My brother and I saved up our money and we bought the NES. I'm going all the way back to Excitebike. That game was sick. Man, we had so much fun. And it actually had a track editor too. The whole thing was a side scroller, but you could insert these little jumps at other levels. Oh man, I played that thing for hours and we've never seen anything since, right? We have Supercross and you've seen us review it on the show I don't know how many times. And it's just been not the same thing. I want to see what Nintendo would do with that title again. Will we ever see it? Probably not, but it would be awfully cool. Cory, you're wrapping us up, buddy. What do you got?
Well, you know what? I thought about this one long and hard, boys, because there's a lot of Nintendo games that I played as a kid, and it was tough to kind of narrow it down to what I wanted. And honestly, it was because we talked about WWE Battlegrounds recently that I thought bringing back Punch-Out would be a great move for Nintendo, because that game in that kind of style or art style, you know, I think would work really, really well, because it is that goofy style boxing game. That game came out in 1984, and the last version of that game was in 2009. And I mean, if anybody actually remembered that one, I don't know, but it's just, it's just like Mario Kart, it's long overdue. I think it's just a fun kind of goofy Nintendo style game that would be perfect for the Switch. And I think with the motion controls, I think there's a lot of fun that could be had with a game like Punch-Out.
Absolutely, guys, those are great ideas. There's 5 games we want to see return. Hit us up at insidethegame.ca. Let us know, what Nintendo title are you looking for?
Alright, so I'm back with your Rainbow Six Siege highlights. And we had another exciting roundup of matches for Playday 6, guys. I mean, we're getting close to the end of the season, and these are very, very important matches to win for some of these teams especially. So let's get right into the first match. We had the Sonics facing off against Oxygen. This is a great way to start off the day, with a little friendly rivalry and with 2 teams fighting for that 4th place position. Before the match, the players were asked about what they thought of each other, and it sounds like these boys have it out for one another.
Because I really don't like them at all. That's really it. I just want to win against them. There's nothing really else to it. I just don't like them.
I think both us and Sonics are one and the same in the fact that we didn't expect to do as well as we did. We just made roster changes. Our main focus for both of us was just getting top 4. They beat us and we still ended up getting first, so we had the consistency, but they had the wins that mattered.
But as much as there was smack talk, Oxygen couldn't put actions where their words were, with a 7-3 victory for Sonics over Oxygen on Chalet. Sonics shot themselves into 3rd place, and Oxygen brought themselves into the bottom 3. Now the entirety of Sonics was an absolute standout.
Back to an advantage for the Sonics. He repeaks, not ideal. So will Super. Fox 8 from above, punishing. It's a 2v1 technically, and right on 0 they get the diffuser down, but it's going to be Rexon to try and stop this with Fox 8 watching. Does he know where the Rook is? That's the real question. No, he doesn't. Rexon pops on up and takes down Laxing before the diffuser can go. 2-0 Sonics.
Make sure to stay tuned next week to see Mirage and Sonics duel it out for the 3rd and 4th place position in the standings. But heading into match 2, we had the biggest upset of the year. Mirage, the team who took down the legendary TSM last week, up against one of the teams tied for last. XSET has been struggling a bit as of late. Their player Drip unexpectedly had to drop from the season, forcing one of my personal Pro League veteran favorites, Jarvis, to step in. Jarvis has been a part of the Pro League for a long time, and to see him step in and do as well as he has, it's been awesome. Mirage, being an absolute powerhouse as of late, couldn't take the pressure from XSET. Although there were some individual standout plays by Mirage, that's not what wins games. What does win games is having solid leadership. And although Jarvis didn't have a high kill match, he put in his weight when it mattered, and he secured them the 7-5 victory in the final round in a 2v1.
But no! It's Nyx now against Jarvis, and he picks up a big kill. The newest player for XSET manages to pick up impactful frags in the final round. And XSET with a clean 7-5 to take the game.
Moving into match 3, we had Disrupt Gaming up against Beast Coast. Beast Coast, they have also been struggling a lot this stage, tied for last place with XSET. They don't seem to have formed their identity yet, and it really does show. With their roster changes over the year and a lack in true leadership right now, it really is hurting them. Disrupt, on the other hand, has been bettering themselves game by game, progressing closer to that top 4 position. And with the likes of players like Iconic standing out like they are, their next match against Oxygen will be crucial.
Deal with it as of right now. Retro, he's been read out, so this gunfight more than likely going to be quite dangerous for him, but the deployable shield's going to give him enough information. He steps up to the plate. The swing's coming back and forth as Retro trying to hold down the door. Iconic gets the other 2, and it locks it up. Disrupt Gaming get away with the bag as the offense is finally starting to come together for Beast Coast, but it was too little too late.
Now the 4th and final match is the one we've been waiting for since the Titans TSM and Space Station Gaming started their tearing streak. Both teams being the Giants of North America League this season, meeting in the matchup of the stage on Chalet. Did SSG finally grab their first loss? Not even close. The 7-2 victory on Chalet was masterful by SSG. This has to be their best map. They cannot be stopped. SSG ability to adapt to their opponents and what they are doing on each scenario, it is insane. It's quite frankly the best I have seen in Pro League. The addition of Hot and Cold to their roster has been perfect. His performance was next to none, and he deserved the MVP of the day. And to be fair, he is looking more and more like the league MVP.
Now it's up to Hot and Cold, 15-4-4 right now, up against TSM in a 1v2. They don't know where he is, but they do now. The L85 in hand. I don't believe he heard the drop to his left either. Still trying to contest the man with the Roni achieved as he's bouncing back and forth. Knows one's still here. He'll burn Pojo Man alive. The SMG-11, can it get it done? Oh, Hot and Cold for 17 as he puts TSM in a body bag. Just send him down the river.
Now, with a 7-2 victory for Space Station Gaming over TSM, this shot SSG way up in first place, securing their position next month in the worldwide event. TSM now in second place, but if you look, this season is looking very competitive for the 4th to 2nd position. All these teams in such a close point differential. I am so excited for these next few days to see what will unfold. Will XSET be able to come back from this season after these last 2 great matches? Will SSG ever lose? I don't actually think so. But that's enough of the highlights, guys. I really hope you enjoyed what you saw. Stay tuned next week for Playday 7 as I will get you all caught up to date with the highlights and replays.
Hey, what's up everybody? If you've noticed over the last little while over on ITG Daily and within Inside the Game, these headphones are the ones I've been using lately. And, well, now it's time to get on to the review. Let's check out the Logitech Pro wireless headset. Taking a look at the actual headset construction is a good highlight for me because it's a sleek, modern design with a matte finish with only the little shiny logo on the side, which is really cool. And it's the comfort feature with the memory foam, the 50mm drivers, and the digital surround sound, and of course the blue mic, which is attachable and you can also take off if necessary if you have a standalone mic when it comes to gaming or streaming for a lot of us. One of the highlights is the durability of the headset is made well. Huge construction when it comes to the world of the frame itself. It's a steel, metal, aluminum that is not going to be bendable to break at points like plastic ones we've had in the past. The memory earphone cups are a fantastic addition in the fact that it's over your ear the entire time and you don't worry about the sweat because it's not like it's going to build up on you, and it's just comfortable to wear. The cord is a coil cord that goes into the earpiece around the band. Often you'll have some of the other cords that are not as flexible, so the fact that they went with a coil cord is actually kind of impressive for me, and it's always completely adjustable. Headset is a fantastic one if you're looking to get. It is a little bit expensive in around the range of a $250 price tag, but overall I think it's worth every penny. When it comes to the actual controls, it's not littered with clunky buttons all over the headset. It's nice and sleek. Off to the left side, you have the ability to hit the mute button. We have a volume control, of course, the on-off button, and a USB-C port for charging. So what else do you get in the box with your headset? Well, the Pro X wireless headset is there, obviously. With that, you also are going to see the memory foam ear pads, or you can change out to the cloth ear pads. You get the USB Lightspeed wireless adapter, which will plug into your PC. The detachable mic with a foam windscreen on it help kind of with your pops and stuff when you're talking to your friends, or if you actually want to use it when streaming as well. You'll get a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and lastly, a carrying bag if you want to store it all and take it on the go. When it comes to a good quality headset, it always comes down to sound. How does that feature over others? And well, Logitech brings their Pro G 50mm drivers to the table, which is a nice crystal clear audio sound that we're always looking for, and enhanced with surround sound as well, bringing in the digital side there for us, so we're able to pick off players from all sorts of angles, and that's a huge feature when you're playing games like Rainbow Six. The last thing we're going to look at right now is the microphone, and right out of the box, talking with friends, doesn't sound all that good, unfortunately. If you're looking for a bass microphone, this isn't the one you want until you turn on the Blue Voice technology. That is where everything gets enhanced, and you're able to really incorporate what they've planned for the Pro wireless headset. It makes a huge difference. Going right out of the box, not a highlight, but the minute you incorporate the actual hub, then you're able to add in features and other filters that will help enhance your overall experience and the quality when it comes to streaming and other things of the sort. Let's take a look at the hub right now. So jumping in on over here with the Logitech G Hub, you can tell I'm using the mic straight out of the box. And this is where the biggest difference comes in when you hear the quality of the other audio mic that I was using in the earlier part of the review to where we're at now. And this is what I meant when it sounds like it's not as crystal clear as we would like it to be. We can completely adjust the input gain and other volumes. But the biggest thing we want to do though is enable the Blue Voice portion of the microphone. This is where we can get into the different sounds, and we can completely adjust the lows, the mids, the highs, and all the other things too, like compressor or even a noise reduction. I thought was a really nice feature to have. Something you don't see a lot of when you're into the world of these microphones and looking for these features that we have to go in and customize in other software programs. And we can use other people too that are already preset. So we're right now using the TSM Myth. If you haven't heard of him, he's an esports player, big competitive player. So we can also go into broadcast sounding too if you want to sound a little bit different, or if you're happy with something, or if you like Myth and you just want to fine tune it like I did. I actually raised up my low a little bit so I wasn't so high pitched and kind of tin like sounding. You can also get into the custom presets too. Make your own so you can get where you really want it to sound and have a sultry tone when you're in there for live streaming and showcasing to your audience. You can get into the headphones themselves and completely adjust all of that. Enabling the advanced EQ is the biggest feature here, allowing you to get into the cinematic. You can get into the bass boost as well, adjust your sliders, make sure you have the sound that you're looking for. And from there, last but not least, we can get into DTS, the digital theater system, and check out the surround sound feature where you want that on. I'm obviously in gaming, but from there you can turn it off,
front wide in traditional. So a lot of options here from Logitech with the G Hub, and this is the biggest feature when you're adding into the wireless headset, something you're definitely going to want to have. And this will also allow you to see how much battery life is left on the headset. It was a nice feature that it pops up, lets you know you're only at 25%, so you might want to plug that in and charge it. If you don't have the software installed like I did earlier, then that's where your headset's going to disconnect and you're not going to know what's going on. So make sure you install the software when you do get the headset.
There it is. That's my review of the Pro X wireless gaming headset. One you should definitely be taking a look at if you want to get into the wireless market of new headsets. Definitely one I highly recommend. Coming in at $250, maybe a little pricey, but not when it comes to the world of wireless. You're getting a fantastic headset at a great price, and it's something that I personally use every single day. Can't recommend it enough. I'm in there with a 9.5. The Logitech X Pro wireless headset has just become a part of my everyday use. Comfortable design with great sound quality allows me to get my work done and game to perfection.
Hey guys, in this week's Level Up, we're going to be talking Chivalry 2 because I just haven't been able to put this game down since it dropped and I did the review. I'm having a ton of fun, but there's a lot of mechanics in this game as far as, you know, a medieval slasher goes. And this one really has a few moves that I think get underutilized, so I really want to focus on one this week. It's the kick. We're going to get into a few things here about it, but I'm just going to let you know that this is a move that a lot of people don't tend to use. It is definitely underutilized. It is, you know, a pros cons situation. I'll get into that in a little bit here. But the best part about the kick is it usually throws a player off, especially a newer player or somebody that tends to be fairly passive and they like to do a lot of blocking. If you can manage to time a kick perfectly, where you can actually knock a player off their balance and you can take a free shot on them, which is a huge advantage in this game because sometimes that one free shot can be the matter of life or death, depending on, you know, what kind of attack you're using and where you're hitting. So there's a lot of things to consider, but I found that the kicks were really helpful because if you can time it properly, especially with a player that tends to do a lot of blocking, you can really break down that block and that stamina by kind of riposting an attack and then throwing a kick, or maybe throwing a flurry of attacks yourselves and then maybe following it up with a kick. And that's the really nice part, because if you've already taken some damage off that player, then if you hit them with a kick, sometimes it'll even be enough to kill them, depending on how much health they actually have left. But I find that if you can time that kick properly, it is deadly in battle, especially in a 1v1 situation. But the other side of this, the con side of the kicks, are that they actually don't interrupt an attack. So if an enemy's already starting to swing or they're building up for an attack and you throw a kick, it may not throw them off balance if they're in the middle of that attack and you're actually going to get hit. And sometimes that's all it takes is that one hit and you're done, depending on the weapon that they're using. So I found that, you know, used properly, kicks can actually kind of pull your gameplay level up just a little bit more into the tier of kind of players that you see out there that are, you know, have you scratching your head wondering how they're getting all those kills, how they're getting them so fast. Well, you get into these 1v1 situations, and if you can mix kicks in, I'm telling you, you're going to be successful.
Guys, we have a unique discussion this week. We're talking about if we could erase one game from our memory bank to go back and replay again, just so we get that satisfaction of, wow, once more, what would it be? Corey, I'm going to kick it right to you to start things off.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say that was a great segue, Drew, because I am picking, wow, World of Warcraft. I played so much of that game with my friends, and even on my own. I mean, I spent hours and hours and hours playing this game, and I kind of justifying this choice because at the time it was one of the few games out there that had a paid monthly subscription service to play on the online service of that game.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I paid for at the time was Xbox Live, and it was half the price compared to what I paid for WoW on a yearly basis. And honestly, it didn't matter to me. It was well worth it. Even at the age I was at, I mean, I played all through my college years, you know, my early 20s into my mid 20s. That game took up so much time. It was so much fun. It was definitely the first, you know, massive multiplayer online game that I kind of really got into and just was so immersed into it. I want to play it. I always want to go back and play it, but I just don't have the time anymore. No. But if I could erase time and erase my memory, that would be the game I would play all over again, man.
That's yeah, I could see that, dude. That's a huge game for a lot of people. For me, like, so like we knew about this topic today, and I've been going back and forth all day long was to like, what game? If we only had to pick one game, what would it be? And I finally settled with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood multiplayer. Right? I had to do it. I remember, like, I'm not a multiplayer guy even to this day. I enjoy multiplayer, but not like that. Like, I'm not a hardcore. I just want to play my single player stuff, right? Let me stealth around. But then Assassin's Creed introduced this sneaking and killing people and poisoning them in a multiplayer scenario, and I was hooked. Like, I would rush home from work just so I can get a match or two in before, you know, other duties kind of came up to be with, you know, family and things like that. It was just gun it home. I gotta get a match in. And it was just, I remember doing the tutorial and going, oh my god, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for my entire life. This thing is fantastic. And now it's just gone. We don't see a multiplayer in Assassin's Creed at all. But yeah, if I could erase my memory and go back, start one all over again, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood multiplayer for me. Nate, this is it, buddy. What do you pick?
All right. Well, first of all, I'd like to start off by saying this is torture because I can never only pick one thing, man. There's been so many time periods of my life where games have like heavily influenced it.
Yeah.
But if I had to narrow it down to one, I guess I would have to pick Oblivion. Yep, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, guys. And the reason I had to say this is, I mean, of course, there's always like just so many memories tied in with this game. I mean, when I first bought my Xbox 360 way back in like 2006, I saved up all my own money. I was told about this amazing open world RPG where there's all these different races that you get to pick. Like, this whole thing as a child was like, this is my dream come true.
Yeah.
So I went to, I think it was Zellers, which existed at the time. Went, picked it up with Oblivion, came home, set it up with my brother on my 27-inch flat screen TV with the red, yellow, white, the green, red, blue, because we had that extra audio video.
Yeah.
And man, turn off the lights and just the music and the intro to that game. It was just like there was nothing like it, man. I grew up playing like Baldur's Gate and some of these older games, but like this RPG is what really sold me, and then sold me on Bethesda games in general, because you know, I played everything past that, Fallout 3, you name it. I've just, guys, Oblivion, I guess, is the one. Oh, this sucks having to pick, but man, I love that franchise, and just everything about that game is fantastic.
Well, there's our picks. Hit us up over on Twitter at @theofficialITG and let us know what's your pick. The guys were live this week over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg. There, they are going for the dub when some worms rumble. Let's see how they did.
To be fair, it's not like we played a ton either, so I don't know, maybe there's just a lot of casual players. But
But a few late nights playing it.
yeah,
We play against each other a lot too.
Yeah, it's one of those games. It's a good shooter to kind of reset you from the other shooters you play, right? Like the CODs and the Hunt Showdowns and the Siege and
Different style for sure. Ooh. Some new green glasses.
Nice.
Nice. That's
Oh my
crazy.
word.
Nice.
800. You gold yet? I am.
Number 4. Oh, I'm sorry.
5 of us have to play again.
I just hate it because every time we play, we may play like 2 to 3 games, and at least one of those games we're shorthanded because someone leaves, and it's just like, especially in ranked, it's just terrible for that.
Yeah.
You lose the first match, someone's out. It's like, are you serious? The first round, you're gone. Yeah, that game can be frustrating.
They just need to make the penalty worse.
Yeah, like you're
Man, it's already like
off your Xbox, got to re-download it.
It just deletes the game.
Put a virus on stupid Xbox.
That'll stop people.
Media, I love that. An uninstall protocol.
Malware to your Xbox, yeah.
All right, where are we going here?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's party on the roof, boys.
Yeah, rooftop. Let's go.
Oh, 19 players this time.
We're gonna kill all those people that think they're VIPs.
Let's do it.
There's no one spawning.
No, we got a little bit of room here before we run into somebody. What do we get? Rocket launcher? All right.
Take those.
Yeah, I got that
What did I
shield
get?
again.
Oh, I got a
Shield
rocket
is the
launcher.
greatest.
Nice.
Banana bomb? Yeah, I'll take those.
I'm just chilling here, guys.
Are you down below? Yeah.
Yeah, I just went. Okay, I got guys down here.
I got some bananas.
Oh, this guy just like shield launched me. I'm in trouble for sure.
Oh, that's you guys. All right, that was me shooting at you.
Yeah, oh my god.
Guys, we got a couple of guys right here. He's down. Nice. Did
There
we
you
got
go.
him? I
I
think
hit
we
him with
got him.
that bat while he was down. There's another guy up
5 squads remaining. Good job, team.
there. I hit him. He's coming down.
Oh, I just hit him
Oh,
50.
He's dead.
Oh, I got
Another
a guy
one.
right on me.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yikes. Ready ammo for my rocket launcher.
He's coming back up. He's
He
down.
dead.
More guys down there.
Oh, I'm down now. Right behind you, mailbox.
I'm coming.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Oh
good.
man, he got me.
I thought I was down. I swear I was
I'm
down.
up
I
on
was
the
laying
top
there.
of the ramp there. In the jump pad. Oh,
Gotcha.
clutch.
This guy's really close to dying.
Get out of the gas, guys.
You can get out down
Can't-
here. Wait, what is this?
Oh, that's the wall. It's the map.
Oh no, I just ran out of stamina.
You're good.
this time. There we go.
Whew.
Survived that.
Good job, guys. Thank you. Those are clutch pickups there too. Jetpack.
All right.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Oh, I had a grappling thing that whole time. My mic's in the way. I can't see it.
3 squads remaining.
left.
All right. Final 3. What map? What part of the map's still available? How do you check the map?
I'm not sure.
Oh, that's the grenade.
He ripped me up with that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We
I was doing the button cycle. I wasn't thinking.
There's
there's
guys
a
below us.
banana
There's
there.
guys below us. Oh, sorry.
Oh my.
Sorry, I aimed it so wrong.
They're over here.
Yeah, I hit him with that nade.
Oh, 76 with the banana. I'll take it.
Whoa.
They east.
The other guy went up top on the zips. I don't know which way he went though.
Calling care package.
Oh yeah, he just zipped away. I'm coming to meet you guys.
Care package up. Oh, it's coming right here.
The assault rifle and a jetpack here. What's the jetpack? How do I use that?
Hammerhead. Oh, I got a rocket launcher.
Left bumper.
Oh, there's people up there. Oh, no. Get up.
All right. Jetpack City, let's go. Where are these guys?
Whoa.
Oh, sorry.
He
There's
jumped
always
up
right
right
behind
in
me.
front of me. Oh, he's gonna get me. Beat him with the bat. I got him. Oh, someone got him.
We got him.
I'm down. Nice, Cory.
Oh, you got him? Okay.
Oh,
Why it's not working? Oh, we gotta get out of here. Uh-oh, I don't know where to go.
where's the news on?
Follow the arrow, I'm guessing? Gotta go up.
Oh, I went the wrong way. Oh, I'm in trouble, I think.
You guys got it?
I'm out. I went up top where we spawned.
Yeah, I'm trying to get up there. I'm super screwed.
See the
I got a guy over here.
You guys got this. Ow.
I just smash him.
Oh, this guy's
2 squads remaining. All right. Where'd he go? Oh, right here.
Hide in there.
Oh, whoa, what happened? Did you get him?
Where'd he go again?
Where'd he go?
How did he just disappear?
He went up.
He took the elevator.
Back up. Up top is
Oh, it's poison.
On me.
You go right through there. Yeah, nice.
I can't get
Oh, you messed him up there. He's going up and around. Oh, he's on 8. He looked like he was
Oh, you
down.
hit me with that banana bomb. I'm down.
You got
Oh, we got him, boys.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
Hey.
Thank you for hanging out with us, as that's going to wrap up today's episode. And of course, you can always be a part of our show. All you have to do is go to insidethegame.ca or hit us up in Discord, just, well, almost like Adam. Adam is in there in our Discord because he's one of us. You've seen him on the show every now and then. You saw him in the Worms Let's Play. Here he is, ending off today's show with some Rainbow Six action. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week inside the game.
One op 4 remaining. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.